Nobody tells you that some of the most beautiful chapters of your life will also feel like loss. What if feeling grief about a good thing doesn't make you ungrateful? It makes you honest. Hey, it's your girl, Dr. Nina, and welcome to the Love Yourself Loudly podcast. I'm your host. And I wanted to introduce these episodes as very brief. I know that most of the listeners or people who might be attracted to this podcast are busy people. And so we want to make sure that the listener feels engaged. I wanted to share a little bit about these episodes and how they're structured. So they're going to be around 20 minutes every week. They're going to drop on Sundays. And the Sunday feature was really important to me because most of us get the Sunday scaries, at least now with everything going on in the world. It's kind of like hard to ignore and it becomes really overwhelming, especially on Sundays. So I wanted to have a podcast or provide a little bit of a thought-provoking journey, even if it's 15 to 20 minutes of your time where you can think about your intention for your life, how you want to show up in your journey. If that sounds good to you, thank you for joining me. Today, I want to talk about something that I think comes up for most of us, which is celebrations, transitions, and good change. That could look like being a new parent, a new job, a new opportunity to shine your light. It almost feels like this underlying silence or shame that we experience if we feel anything other than 100% joy when these transitions come up. It's sort of like this unsaid thing that we have to just be happy and put on a smile and laugh and be grateful for the next point of our journey. Maybe we worked really hard to get there to that pivotal moment in our life. And if we were to say that we felt anything other than pure gratitude or joy, that it diminishes that to other people. Nothing is wrong, even though in the moment it might feel wrong. Grief is a part of every transition and every part of our journey. And it's about accepting that, facing it out loud so that it doesn't turn into shame. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. So again, as I'll share on every episode, pay attention to some sensations that you're feeling in your body or just overall how you're digesting the episode. That will tell you more about yourself than it does about me. So I'm going to share a particular part of my journey, which was my transition to parenthood. And I'm going to give a few examples just in case you're not a parent. Just keep listening and you'll hear an example for you too. Before I had my son, who is now a toddler, so I'm still in it with all the parents out there. Before I had my son, all I can think about was being a mom one day. And I have two siblings. Both my siblings had children already, and I was very close with their kids. And I just felt like it was so natural for me to relate to kids and be fun and playful and bringing out the child's like essence of my own self. And I felt like I really couldn't wait until I was on that journey myself. And it came to my self-care game, you guys, like before I had a kid, I was on top of my game. I was waking up slowly after like countless hours of sleep. I think probably over 10 hours a night of sleep. Like I was like, my sleep game was on point. And I honestly feel like I would do tea in the morning. I would journal for a while to get all my thoughts out, all my inspirations, any stuck emotions I was feeling. I would jot them onto a page and process them. And I love to get out in nature in the morning. And sometimes I was up to like 2-3 hour walks in the morning. And I had the freedom in my day because I'm still am, but I had a private practice. And so I could create my own schedule. So I really spent a lot of time on myself in the morning and then would see my clients later in the day. And I just felt so good. I had a long skincare routine, all the things. I was slow and intentional about how I took care of myself. And I felt really proud of that. Now, transitioning into having my beautiful son, who I love very dearly, I really noticed that there just wasn't enough time to cover all the things that I wanted to do, and not with intention. If you're a parent, you know this, but you're sleep deprived. You don't have that much extra time on your hands to be doing these like long skincare routines, and you're probably just too tired. I mean, I was too tired to do them. And also I don't have like I could take my son for a walk, but I'm not going to take him for a walk for 3 hours. He's on a schedule. And when it came to journaling, I lost track of the journaling for at least the first year or year and a half, because there was just no time. There was no time to reflect. I was in it. At that point, I felt a lot of grief. And I wasn't exactly sharing it, not at first. It wasn't until I could really open up to friends who were in the same process, whether they were already a parent or just becoming a parent like me, that I realized, oh, everyone feels this way. It's overwhelming. There's a sense of like, oh, I've lost my freedom, because sometimes we catastrophize. We didn't totally lose our freedom, but it feels that way. You can't just nap in the middle of the day when you have a child, especially a new one. And so your schedule really aligns to your child. And even though people are with good intention telling you, "Oh, it's not going to last forever, and soon your child is going to be 18 and out of the house," because that's what everyone does. They smother you with all the positivity to make that feeling go away. But it's also very invalidating to say, well, at some point it's going to be over, because right now it's hard. Right now it's difficult. And I think that's the part that I was missing. And it was only until I really faced those emotions of it is hard now. I have less time for myself. This is really tough. Sometimes I feel sad. Sometimes I feel really anxious. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed. Until I really faced that and also validated those feelings, it's understandable. I'm a new parent. Everything is new. Every month, you have a new challenge that you're facing, or a new shift in perspective that you're trying to adjust and make to be the best parent you can for your little one. Once I was able to face that, I could really fully step into enjoying motherhood and all that it brings to my life. Before, I enjoyed it even when those big feelings came up, but I could fully be present in that experience. And I honestly feel like it made me a better mom than I already was, because I was able to be present in that moment. I wasn't thinking about the past. I wasn't thinking about the future. And so through that process of facing my emotions, I felt like I could really be in the moment and be celebratory with my son. Now, that may not resonate with you if you're not a parent. So, unfortunately, we are in a time where many people are losing their jobs, and it's really scary. It could also be a choice. For some of you, you're changing positions because you want to change your position, because you want to do something different. You're changing your career or your identity because you want to change that identity. All of those aspects, there's a part of us that needs to grieve the person we were before the transition, whether it was fully something we enjoyed or not. I have a quick story for you, which is when I began my career as a psychologist, I was working with this highly esteemed clinician that had created incredible, impressive programs for the hospital, and was just like everyone loved this woman. And I had worked with her for, I think, about a year at the time. And she was so kind to me, so giving, and also just really respected me. So I wanted to give her something on her way out. And for me, I love being creative. And so I decided to create a meditation for her colleagues, all the people that she wanted to celebrate her retirement. And I did the meditation for everyone. They all enjoyed it. And she came up to me after and just, thanked me for creating that for her. And she said to me, I only have professional clothes in my closet. I have maybe a few casual outfits. What am I supposed to do with all these clothes? And at first I was like, should I answer that? I wasn't sure. And then I kind of understood, like, first of all, I'm in the beginning of my career. I know nothing about retirement. I mean, it would be nice to like retire, but I was far from being retired. And so I couldn't really understand that transition and what it meant to her at the time because I had just started my career. But I understood the sentiment of what she was sharing, which was like a rhetorical question. Who am I outside of this position? Who am I without this label on my name? Who am I without the respect that I've gained for the work that I've contributed to this hospital? And so maybe you are not at the retirement phase, but maybe you are transitioning in some kind of way in your career and you can identify with that. I thought it was so interesting. Who are we outside of our work life? What does our quality of life look like? What are the things that you like to do? You almost have to like meet yourself again in the process. And there's grief in that. There's grief in not knowing who you are becoming. There's grief in the in between of, I'm not that person from the past, but I'm also not yet the person in the future. Facing the grief of that is the most important thing that we can do. Now, what do we all do as humans? We either go in one direction and we're trying to find the middle, right? We're either on the side of like, I'm going to do the toxic positivity thing and there's no judgment, right? Sometimes I'm in this route too, but it's okay. I should just be grateful for this next phase and this is what I wanted. Or it's okay if I was let go and it wasn't personal. They said it wasn't performance based. So whatever, I'm just going to keep moving. So we can do the thing of like, let's not even face the emotion and just go towards what's positive about the situation. It was meant to be, right? It's meant to be that my path is that way. Or we can go the opposite route where we're stuck in a feeling and we can't get out of it. And it's so important on either side. The nervous system is involved. So it's really telling us that we're tight, we're tense. Our nervous system is maybe stuck in fight or flight or maybe freeze. And this isn't the podcast to like describe the nervous system or anything like that, but there's many psychologists and experts that can help you work through that. But it is a podcast where we identify that the mind and the body are connected. So we're either stuck in the feeling and we can't get out of it. And we're feeling like, oh, I just can't move past it. I'm thinking about it all day long. I'm ruminating about it. How could they do this to me? Or how could I do this to myself? I'm really scared. Why did I make that decision? We're on the other side where we're just like, just be thankful, just be grateful. They didn't mean it. Keep going. It's meant to be. How do we move toward the middle? How do we move toward the center? Taking a breath, honoring those feelings, the grief that's coming up for us. The transitions are hard. They're not easy. How can we be gentle with ourselves in those moments? Process those feelings. And processing can look so many different ways. It can be journaling. It can be dancing. It could be singing at the top of your lungs in the car to your favorite song. How do we digest the feeling? How do we let it move through us so it's not trapped? Once we can get there, then we can fully arrive in the present moment and truly enjoy our life. And when I say enjoy our life, this is a process. You get to the place of enjoyment, something comes up, you grieve it again. At some point, we have to accept that we're human. We're not meant to be machines, even though some systems may tell us that's their expectation for us. But we're not. We're not machines. We're not robots. We're humans. We have feelings. We get overwhelmed. And then we move back to center. What are those feelings that I'm experiencing? How can I validate where I'm at so that I can truly honor and celebrate the other side? Meeting yourself in the grief is one of the most loving things you can do for yourself. The goal isn't to stop feeling. It's to feel the emotion all the way through. Again, circling back to something that centers me every day, which is we arrive in this world whole. I invite myself to come back to this all the time. And I want you to think about how this applies to your own life. At some point, the environment starts to get really loud and we lose sense of our own voice. How can we center back to our own voice being the loudest one? And that's what this podcast is all about. Where in your life are you skipping past a feeling that's waiting to be met? What would it look like to finally stop and meet it? See you next time on Love Yourself Loudly. Okay, so real quick, this is for entertainment purposes only. This is not therapy or medical advice. If you're having a hard time, please reach out to a licensed professional. If this episode hit home, please share it with someone who might enjoy it as well. You already know who it is. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe. And if you're listening to the podcast form, please rate and review. It helps this podcast reach the people who really, truly need it. Now, the most important thing is come find me on social and say hi. You can find me at Dr. Nina Paulinet or Love Yourself Loudly podcast. Until next time, love yourself loudly. I'm Dr. Nina, and I'm not sorry about it.